As we get older, protecting our hearts becomes more important than ever. But what if the biggest threats aren't your cholesterol, your blood pressure, or even your family history? What if they're hiding in plain sight, in your daily routine, your mouth, even your living room? Today, leading cardiologists are sounding the alarm about 5 overlooked risk factors that can quietly damage aging hearts. We're not talking about rare diseases or expensive treatments. We're talking about common situations that millions of seniors face every day, often without connecting the dots to their heart health. And here's the problem. Most doctors don't have time in a 15-minute appointment to explain how these everyday factors are affecting your cardiovascular system. But that changes right now. In this video, we're counting down 5 hidden heart risks that deserve your attention after 60. Some of these will surprise you. Others you can start addressing today. No prescription required. This isn't about fear. It's about facts, backed by the latest research and explained in plain English. If you're over 60, or you care about someone who is, watch closely. Because what you're about to learn could add years to your life and life to your years. Let's start with number 5, and it has nothing to do with what you eat. Number 5, loneliness and social isolation. The heart risk hiding in plain sight. When we think about heart health, we think about diet, exercise, maybe stress. But there's another factor that's just as dangerous, and it's one that millions of older adults face every single day. Being alone. Not just living alone. That's different. We're talking about genuine isolation, fewer meaningful conversations, days without seeing a friend, weeks without physical touch or real connection. And the research is startling. Studies published in the journal Heart show that social isolation increases your risk of heart disease by 29% and your risk of stroke by 32%. That's comparable to smoking or obesity. But how does loneliness actually damage your heart? It works through multiple pathways. First, isolation triggers chronic stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, that keep your body in a constant state of alert. Your blood pressure stays elevated. Your heart rate doesn't settle. Inflammation increases throughout your body, including in your arteries. Second, lonely people tend to have less consistent health behaviors. You're less likely to cook a full meal for just yourself, less motivated to take a daily walk when there's no one to walk with. You might skip doctor appointments because there's no one to remind you or drive you. And third, isolation affects sleep quality, immune function, and even how your body processes cholesterol. So what does social isolation actually look like? It's not always obvious, especially when it develops gradually. You might notice you're going days without a real conversation, not just hello to a cashier, but an actual back and forth with someone who knows you. Maybe you've stopped attending activities you used to enjoy. Church, clubs, card games. They just feel like too much effort now. Perhaps your phone doesn't ring as much. Friends have moved, passed away, or drifted apart. You might spend more time watching TV than interacting with people. Not an hour or two. We're talking 6, 7, 8 hours a day, filling the silence. These changes often happen so slowly you don't notice. Retirement ends work friendships. A spouse passes, driving becomes difficult, and before you know it, days blend together in quiet solitude. But here's the good news. This is one heart risk you can start addressing immediately. Start small. One meaningful conversation per day. Call a friend, video chat with a grandchild. Strike up a conversation at the grocery store that goes beyond paper or plastic. Look for structured social opportunities. Senior centers offer everything from exercise classes to game nights. Many are free or low cost. Libraries often have book clubs and discussion groups. Volunteer. Nothing combats isolation like being needed. Hospitals, schools, food banks, animal shelters, they're always looking for help. And it puts you around people with shared purpose. Consider technology. Apps like Nextdoor connect you with neighbors. Video calling means grandkids can be part of your daily life, even if they're across the country. And if mobility is an issue, ask your doctor about programs that bring social connection to you. Meals on Wheels drivers often provide conversation. Senior ride services do more than just transport, and many communities have friendly visitor programs. The key is this: your heart doesn't just need exercise and vegetables. It needs connection, laughter, purpose, and touch. Those things aren't luxuries. They're medicine. Because loneliness isn't just about feeling sad. For your aging heart, it's a measurable, modifiable risk factor that deserves the same attention as your blood pressure. Now let's move to number 4, and this one surprises most people. Number 4. Gum disease and poor oral health. The infection in your mouth that's attacking your heart. When was the last time your cardiologist asked about your teeth? Probably never. When was the last time your dentist asked about your heart? Maybe in passing, but probably not in detail. And that's a problem, because these two systems, your mouth and your cardiovascular system, are intimately connected in ways that most people never learn about. Here's what happens. Gum disease, also called periodontal disease, is a chronic bacterial infection. Your gums become inflamed, they bleed when you brush. Pockets form around your teeth where bacteria thrive. That bacteria doesn't stay in your mouth. Every time you chew, brush, or even swallow, small amounts enter your bloodstream. And once in your blood, those bacteria travel straight to your heart and arteries. Studies show that people with gum disease have nearly twice the risk of heart disease compared to those with healthy gums. The bacteria can contribute to arterial inflammation, plaque buildup, and even directly infect heart valves. Research has found oral bacteria inside arterial plaques removed during heart surgeries. It's not just correlation, it's direct causation. So how do you know if you have gum disease? The most obvious sign is bleeding gums. If you see pink in the sink after brushing, that's not normal, no matter what you've been told. Healthy gums don't bleed. Other signs include receding gums that make your teeth look longer, persistent bad breath that doesn't go away after brushing, loose teeth or teeth that have shifted position, pus between teeth and gums, or pain when chewing. Many people dismiss these symptoms as just part of aging, but they're not. They're signs of infection that needs treatment. But here is the solution. The fix starts with better daily care. Brush twice daily for 2 full minutes. Most people brush for about 45 seconds, which isn't enough. Use a soft, bristled brush and replace it every 3 months. Floss daily. Not sometimes, daily. This is the only way to remove bacteria and food particles from between teeth where your brush can't reach. See your dentist regularly. After 60, twice-yearly cleanings are essential, and if you already have gum disease, you may need more frequent visits. If you have risk factors, diabetes, smoking history, dry mouth from medications, tell your dentist. These increase your gum disease risk significantly. And here's something most people don't know. If you have heart disease or artificial heart valves, you may need antibiotics before dental procedures. Talk to both your dentist and cardiologist about whether this applies to you. Your mouth is not separate from your body. The health of your gums is directly connected to the health of your heart. Taking care of one protects the other. Now, I want you to do something for me. If you are enjoying this video and getting value, please hit the subscribe button and so other seniors you can get to see this as well. Alright, let's move to number 3. And this one is massively underdiagnosed in older adults. Number 3. Sleep apnea, the condition that's stressing your heart every single night while you sleep. Sleep apnea is when your breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. Each time it happens, your oxygen level drops, Your heart rate spikes, your blood pressure surges, and your body floods with stress hormones. This might happen 10 times per hour, or 30, or in severe cases, 50 or more times every single hour, all night long. And here's the scary part. You might have no idea it's happening. The connection to heart health is direct and dangerous. When your oxygen drops repeatedly throughout the night, it creates something called oxidative stress, a type of cellular damage that promotes inflammation in your blood vessels. Your blood pressure doesn't get its normal nighttime dip. Instead, it surges with each apnea episode. Over months and years, this leads to chronic hypertension that's resistant to medication. Sleep apnea dramatically increases your risk of atrial fibrillation, irregular heartbeat, heart failure, heart attack, and stroke. Studies show that severe untreated sleep apnea can increase your risk of dying from heart disease by up to 5 times. So how do you know if you have it? The classic sign is loud snoring with pauses, moments where the snoring stops, there's silence, then a gasp or snort as breathing resumes. But not everyone snores. Other signs include waking up gasping or choking, morning headaches that fade after an hour or two, excessive daytime sleepiness despite sleeping 7 to 8 hours, waking frequently to urinate at night, difficulty concentrating or memory problems, and falling asleep easily during the day, while reading, watching TV, or even during conversations. Many people, especially women, are dismissed when they mention these symptoms. You're just getting older. Try going to bed earlier, but these could be signs of a serious, treatable condition. If these symptoms sound familiar, talk to your doctor about a sleep study. Many can now be done at home with equipment you take home for the night. If you're diagnosed, the gold standard treatment is CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure. It's a mask you wear at night that keeps your airway open. Yes, it takes adjustment, but the results can be life-changing. Better sleep, more energy, lower blood pressure, and significantly reduced heart risk. Other options include oral appliances that reposition your jaw, positional therapy for mild cases, or in some situations, surgery. Weight loss can help if you're overweight. Even 10% of your body weight can significantly improve sleep apnea. Avoid alcohol before bed. It relaxes throat muscles and makes apnea worse. Sleep on your side instead of your back. The key message? If you're always tired despite plenty of sleep, if your bed partner says you stop breathing at night, if you're being treated for high blood pressure that won't come down, get checked for sleep apnea. Because every night of untreated sleep apnea is another night of unnecessary stress on your heart. Now we're getting to number 2, and this one affects almost everyone. Number 2, excessive sitting, what researchers now call the new smoking. After 60, life often becomes more sedentary. You're no longer walking to an office or moving around a workplace. Maybe mobility issues make standing uncomfortable. Television becomes the main entertainment. Hours slip by in a chair or on a couch, and those hours are silently damaging your heart. Here's what the research shows. Sitting for extended periods, we're talking 6 or more hours per day, independently increases your risk of heart disease, even if you exercise regularly. That last part is crucial. You could go for a 30-minute walk every morning and still be at increased risk if you sit for the rest of the day. Exercise doesn't fully cancel out prolonged sitting. Why? Because sitting affects your body at a metabolic level. After just 30 minutes of continuous sitting, your blood flow slows, electrical activity in your leg muscles shuts off, and your body's ability to process fats and sugars starts declining. Your good cholesterol, our HDL, drops. Your blood pressure doesn't regulate as well. Enzymes that break down blood fats decrease by 90%. Over time, this creates the perfect environment for arterial plaque buildup. The challenge is that excessive sitting doesn't feel dangerous. There's no pain, no immediate symptom. You just notice over time that you're stiff when you stand, Your legs feel heavy or swollen by evening. Your energy is low despite not doing anything. You're short of breath with minor activity, and simple tasks feel harder than they used to. These subtle changes often get dismissed as just aging. But they're not. They're signs of cardiovascular deconditioning from too much sitting. The good news? The solution is simpler than you might think. And it doesn't require a gym membership. The key is to break up sitting time. Set a timer for every 30-45 minutes. When it goes off, stand up for just 2 minutes. Walk to the kitchen. Do some gentle stretches. Even standing still is better than sitting. If you watch TV, use commercial breaks as movement breaks. Stand during the commercials. March in place. Do simple arm circles. Consider your environment. Can you take phone calls standing? Can you read standing or pacing? Can you do light tasks, folding laundry, sorting mail, at a counter instead of sitting? Look for ways to add movement to routine activities. Park farther away. Take the long route to the mailbox. Stand while waiting instead of sitting. If mobility is limited, chair exercises count. Leg lifts, arm raises, torso twists, anything that gets your muscles activated and your blood flowing. The goal isn't to eliminate sitting entirely. That's unrealistic. The goal is to break it up. Think of movement as a medication you take every hour. Just 2 minutes every hour adds up to about 30 minutes of extra movement throughout the day. And those small breaks can significantly reduce your cardiovascular risk, improve your energy, and help you maintain independence longer. Because your heart doesn't care how comfortable your chair is. It cares about movement, blood flow, and keeping your system active. And now we've reached number 1. The most dangerous and most preventable heart risk of all. Number 1. Skipped or inadequate screening tests. The silent problems you could catch early but don't know you should ask for. Here's a hard truth. Many heart attacks and strokes are surprises only because the warning signs were never looked for, not because they weren't there, because nobody checked. Why this happens? After 60, you probably see your doctor regularly. Blood pressure check, maybe cholesterol, blood sugar, the basics. And if everything looks normal, you're sent home with a clean bill of health. But here's what most people don't know. Standard tests only catch part of the picture. There are more advanced screenings that can detect early problems that basic tests miss. Problems that are still reversible, still treatable, still preventable. But these tests aren't always offered. Why? Sometimes it's insurance. They're not always covered without symptoms. Sometimes it's time. Doctors have 15 minutes and a long list to cover. Sometimes it's simply that you have to know to ask. Now, let me tell you about 5 screening tests that can catch problems early. Tests you may need to specifically request. 1. Coronary calcium score. This is a specialized CT scan that measures calcium buildup in your coronary arteries, an early sign of plaque formation. Your cholesterol might look perfect, but this test can reveal that plaque is already forming. It's one of the best predictors of future heart attack risk. If you're between 30 and 75 with risk factors, family history, former smoker, high blood pressure, diabetes, ask about this test. 2. Advanced lipid panel. A standard cholesterol test gives you total cholesterol, LDL, HDL, and triglycerides. But an advanced lipid panel looks deeper. The size and number of your LDL particles, not just the amount. Why does this matter? Because small, dense LDL particles are much more dangerous than large, fluffy ones. You could have borderline high LDL on a standard test, but still be at high risk if those particles are the wrong type. 3. High sensitivity C-reactive protein, hsCRP. This test measures inflammation in your body. Since inflammation plays a key role in heart disease, elevated hsCRP can indicate increased risk even when other numbers look good. It's particularly useful if you have risk factors, but your cholesterol is normal. It can explain why you might still need treatment. 4. Ankle brachial index, ABI. This simple test compares blood pressure in your ankle to blood pressure in your arm. If there's a significant difference, it suggests peripheral artery disease, narrowed arteries in your legs. Here's why it matters. PAD in your legs usually means you also have narrowed arteries elsewhere, including around your heart and brain. It's an early warning system for heart attack and stroke risk. The test is quick, painless, and incredibly informative. Yet many people have never heard of it. 5. Echocardiogram. If you have certain risk factors. This ultrasound of your heart can detect problems with your heart valves, heart muscle thickness, or pumping function, issues that might not show up on a standard EKG. If you have a history of high blood pressure, murmurs, shortness of breath, or unexplained fatigue, an echo can provide crucial information. Why people skip these tests. The most common reasons people don't get these screenings. They don't know they exist. They assume, if I needed it, my doctor would order it. They're worried about cost. They're afraid of what they might find. They feel fine and don't want to go looking for problems. But here's the reality. Finding a problem early is always better than finding it in an emergency room. How to advocate for yourself. If you want better screening, here's how to approach it. Schedule a dedicated appointment to discuss prevention, not just a quick checkup. Bring your family history. Heart attacks, strokes, sudden cardiac death in relatives, especially if they happened before age 65. Be honest about symptoms you might be dismissing. Occasional chest tightness, shortness of breath that's gotten worse, new limitations in what you can do physically. Ask directly, based on my age and risk factors, are there any additional screening tests I should consider? Don't be afraid to get a second opinion if you feel your concerns aren't being heard. And remember, insurance often covers these tests if there's a medical reason. Your doctor can usually find one if they agree you should have the test. The bottom line. Early detection changes everything. A problem caught on a calcium score can be managed with medication and lifestyle changes. A problem that shows up as a heart attack requires emergency surgery and months of recovery, if you survive it. The most dangerous heart risk isn't what we can't prevent. It's what we could prevent but didn't know to look for. If you're over 60, especially if you have any risk factors, high blood pressure, diabetes, family history, former smoking, being overweight, don't wait for symptoms. Be proactive. Ask questions. Request tests. Because the best time to protect your heart was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. So there you have it, 5 hidden heart risks that deserve just as much attention as your cholesterol and blood pressure, loneliness and isolation, the emotional risk that creates physical damage, gum disease, the infection in your mouth that travels to your heart, sleep apnea, the nighttime breathing problem that stresses your cardiovascular system, excessive sitting, the modern lifestyle habit that quietly weakens your heart, and inadequate screening, the early warning signs you could catch but might never look for. The good news? Every single one of these is addressable. Not someday. Starting today. You don't need expensive treatments or complicated protocols. You need awareness, small changes, and the willingness to advocate for your own health. If this video helped you see heart health in a new way, give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos where we break down health topics just like this every single week. And here's my question for you. Which of these 5 surprised you most? Did any of them describe something you're experiencing right now? Drop a comment below. Your experience might help someone else watching. And if you found this valuable, share it with a friend or family member over 60. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do for the people we love is give them information that could change their life. Until next time, take care of your heart. It's the only one you've got.